Mr. Shoff put it to me this way. He said, Jim, if you had enough reasons, you could do the most incredible things. I never forgot how he put that. If you have enough reasons, your whole life can change. Mr. Shoff said to me, Jim, you've got plenty of intelligence. You've got plenty of talent. You've got plenty of ability. Probably what you lack, he said, is plenty of reasons. He said, I don't think your current bank balance is a true indication of your intelligence. I was happy to hear that. He said, I think you are much smarter than your present bank balance indicates. And that turned out to be true. I was much smarter. But of course, my first question was, then why isn't it bigger? He said, you don't have enough reasons. You have enough intelligence, but not enough reasons. So see, reasons can change your life. Here's what else I found out. Reasons come first. Answers come second. You don't get the answers to do well until you get the reasons. Life has a mysterious way of holding on to all the answers. It only gives them up to people inspired by reasons. So reasons make the difference in how your life works out. Now, what are some of the reasons for doing well? Let's go through a quick list. First are personal reasons. Some people do well for recognition. Some people do well for respect. Some people do well for the way it makes them feel. They love the feeling of being a winner. Those are good reasons. I have some millionaire friends who work 10, 12 hours a day making more millions. It's not because they need the money. It's because they need the joy, the satisfaction, and the pleasure of being a constant winner. And see, it's not just the money. It's the journey, not the money. Once in a while, somebody says to me, boy, if I had $1 million, I'd never work another day in my life. That's probably why the good Lord sees to it they don't get their million. They'd quit. Next are family reasons. Some people do extremely well for other people, and that's powerful. Human beings can greatly affect each other. Sometimes we will do things for somebody else that we will not do for ourselves. We are made that way. I met a man one time who said, Mr. Rohn, to do all the things I want to do with my family around the world, I need at least $250,000 a year. I thought, incredible. Could a family affect someone that much? And the answer is, of course. How fortunate are the people who find themselves greatly affected by somebody for personal achievement? We are affected. A writer of a recent song said, if not for you, the winter would hold no spring. I couldn't hear a robin sing. I just wouldn't have a clue if not for you. So we can be affected. That might be one of the most stimulating reasons to do well. Finding somebody who inspires you. When Andrew Carnegie died, the wee little Scotsman who built the big steel industry, they opened his desk. Inside one of the drawers, they found a slip of paper. On that paper, Carnegie had written his goal for life when he was in his 20s. It said, I am going to spend the first half of my life accumulating money. I'm going to spend the last half of my life giving it all away. What a goal. He got so inspired by that goal that he accumulated $450 million in the first half of his life. And in the last half of his life, he gave it all away. Good question tonight. What gets you turned on? What excites you enough to get up early, stay up late, and give your best all day? Next question. What gets you turned off? When I found the answers to those two questions, my life exploded into change. I finally found what had me turned off, and I got that cured. Then I made a long list of reasons to turn me on. Once the lights went on for me at age 25, they never went out. I've fallen out of the sky a few times, but I never lost that drive to make something unique out of my life. Reasons altered my whole life. Now there's another list of reasons called nitty-gritty, hard little reasons. Sometimes those little reasons are the most powerful. Sometimes it doesn't take much. I now carry several $100s in my money clip. It's only a few $100s. But it was one of those reasons that turned my life around. Just before I met Mr. Shoff, I heard a knock at the door. I went to the door. A little girl was standing there, selling Girl Scout cookies. She gave me one of the finest sales presentations I'd ever heard. Several flavors. A special deal. $2. With a big smile, she politely asked me to buy. I wanted to. Big problem. I was broke. I didn't have $2. To this day, I remember the pain and embarrassment. As a father, a husband, a college graduate, 25 years old, and broke. I didn't want to tell her, so I did what I thought was next best. I lied. I said I've already bought lots of cookies, I still have plenty at home. It wasn't true, but it got me off the hook. She said, well, gosh, that's wonderful, thank you very much. And she went away. When I closed the door, I said to myself, I don't want to live like this anymore. I had it with lying and being broke. I promised that day to work as hard as possible. I promised to always carry plenty of money. It took me a little while, but now I do. It was one of those reasons. And I guess I carry plenty for two reasons. One is the way it makes me feel. The other is in case I bump into another Girl Scout selling cookies. Then I'll be ready. Thank you.